So we'll get started. There are still some sign-ins, but they know what to do when they come. So please take a comfortable seat, and I welcome you to the morning practice. Thanks for being here. You can rest your hands in your lap and find your upright and relatively present and attentive seat. Since we're coming from, as Rilke once called it, the nearby country, as we're coming from the nearby country of our sleep into our waking, I want to encourage you not to be tempted by a sleepy mind or a dull mind. Yesterday, I was talking briefly at the beginning of a class about the 9 obstacles in yoga. And one of those does include a kind of mental dullness or laziness of sorts. So as you take your upright seat, let the antenna of your attention kind of turn on. You can imagine you're raising a dimmer switch up to the place where you have the amount of attention you need for this particular asana, taking your seat. And then allow your breath to infuse your posture. So you also bring that in where there's a sense of the breath being on this vertical plane, but also expanding 3-dimensionally for inhale and returning you 3-dimensionally during the exhale. So a kind of pulsation, this expanding, returning, but also rising and nourishing. And please do that for 3 or 4 more breath cycles where you really sense the breath is helping you to arrive. It's bringing your attention into this opportunity. So in the practice of yoga, we say there are 9 obstacles and there are 5 causes of suffering. And there is one solution to know the true nature of yourself and life. There's more said, of course, in yoga, but with that in your awareness, please bring your hands together at your heart. We'll chant the Gayatri mantra this morning. Let's begin. Om Bhurvasuvaha Tatsavitor Varenyam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata Om Bhuvasuvah Tatsavitor Varenyam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata Om Bhuvasuvah Tatsavitor Varenyam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands as you're ready to. And we're going to start with seated pranayama. I'd like to move back and sit with you. So I'm going to switch my camera. Let me recommend that you have 2 blocks and a yoga strap for practice today. And that we'll start actually with those 2 blocks as a part of the pranayama. So with your upright seat, put a block to each side of where you're sitting. Okay, so the one solution I was referring to there, we say the first cause of suffering is called avidya. It means forgetting your true nature. There's 4 other causes of suffering that come from that, and there are 9 obstacles to progressing on the path. And some of those obstacles include variations on misperception, misperceiving your essential nature, misperceiving your progress, or misperceiving yourself and then regressing from states of understanding or insight and regressing backwards. So we're going to work on clear perception this morning. So please interlace your fingers. We'll do the pranayama that we've been doing, and then I'm going to introduce or remind you of 3-part breathing. So place the heels of the hands down. Lift the base of your skull so your head comes into the position you used for Jalandhar Bandha. And now Ujjayi, inhale. And as you raise the breath up, raise your arms and follow your hands with your eyes. And then exhale, squeeze your hands down behind your head so the knuckles and pinky fingers are at the base of your skull. And then inhale, bring your elbows forward and up. And exhale, level your head. Inhale, left elbow forward, right elbow up. Exhale to center. Inhale, right side forward, left elbow up. Exhale to center. Inhale to go up. And exhale, press your arms wide. Reach back to interlace your fingers at the small of your back. And inhale to go up. And exhale, return to your seat. Let your mind consider being really still, but not vacant, not dull. And now Bhastrika, using the strength at the solar plexus. This is a strong exhale out through the mouth. Exhale. Now lower, middle, upper, up to suspension. Exhale smoothly and completely. At the end of the exhale, when the belly becomes its most toned, and you're going to relax that tone and receive the next inhale. Again, Bhastrika. Exhale completely. Inhale, lower, middle, upper. Exhale smoothly and completely. Deeply relax the belly. So the next inhale comes to you. Listen for that which is not mental ups and downs, that which is deeply still. Interlace your fingers. Going back to the first activity, we're going to add to it. So lift the base of your skull, come into your Ujjayi breath, please. Beginning with the inhale. Follow your hands upwards with your breath and your eyes. Exhale, hands down at the base of your skull, Jalandhara Bandha position for your head. Level your head, inhale, left elbow forward, right elbow up. Then exhale, side bend to your left, lower your left arm down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, center. Inhale, right elbow forward, left elbow up. Exhale, side bend to your right. Lower your right elbow down. Inhale, rise up into your twist. Exhale to center. Bring your head to Jalandhara Bandha. Inhale, elbows forward and up. Exhale, elbows wide, Jalandhara Bandha for the head. Inhale, press up, look up. Exhale, arms wide. Bring your gaze down, clasp your hands. Inhale, lower, middle, and upper to go up. Exhale, bow forward. Take the arms up behind you. Inhale, rise up to sit. And exhale, release your hands to your lap. And sit inside this stillness beneath the breath, the sensations, the moods, the thoughts, the stillness beneath anticipation and apprehension. You bring your right hand up so the first two fingers go into the center of your palm. And we'll do 5 on the left, 5 on the right, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. And then we're going to stay with 1, 1 so that the hand is going back and forth. So this is Kapalabhati, using the Nadi Shodhana as a cleansing. If doing it 1, 1, 1, 1, like left, right, is too hard for you, you can stay with 5 left, 5 right, 5 left, 5 right. Okay, let's begin. Exhale. Now inhale, left nostril. Suspend. Close the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Suspend. Exhale left. Deeply relax. Invite your mind to go immediately to the stillness underneath sensations and moods and thoughts. Now place your hand on the block to the right side of your mat. That's to keep you more upright. We're going to do a side bend into the upper part. We will also side bend into the lower part, but I would like you to keep your right arm straight for now. And raise your left arm up, please. And then exhale and side bend the upper hemisphere of the torso. Make an effort to bring the breath from the low to the middle to the upper, and to have this region of the torso, your side ribs and the upper chest, and even into the armpit and shoulder blade. Let it expand through there. And then rising up, let's change sides. So you've got a block to your left. Press down against the block and go up into the side bend. So the downward pressure of your left arm is important in reaching up into the right upper quadrant of the torso. And with your exhale, rise up. Now make the block on the right side down to the flat setting. Inhale the left arm up and side bend to your right. So now there is a shift of the rib cage and we're going up. So this is, partly the upper where we just were, but more focusing on the mid torso. A deep breath in. Exhale, come upright. Let's make this one on the flat setting. Press down into your left arm. Swoosh your rib cage a little bit to the right and up. And so deep breath into the right side waist. And then exhale, come upright. And now without the block, take the right hand to the floor. Root down into your left hip. Keep the right arm straight so your side bend, I hope, is coming down into the lower back region, maybe even into the interior of your hip. And then exhale up to center and going to your left side. You can put the block aside. Press down for your left arm, side bend to your left. Widen your rib cage and your right low belly to the right. And then rise up to sitting using your exhale to come up. So that is in preparation for, we're going to do one more pranayama, and it's inhale first third, pause, inhale middle third, pause, inhale upper third, pause, and then exhale consecutively without pausing. Okay, so it's going to be, I would recommend you count for yourself, but it's like inhale 3, pause 3, inhale 3, pause 3, inhale 3, Pause for 3, exhale for about 9 counts. So it's a way of summarizing and keeping the math simple. You'll count your 3s at your own pace. So let's begin. I know most of you have experience with this. Some of you are doing it for the first time. So inhale, first third. Pause. Inhale, mid third. Pause. Inhale, upper third, where you have to lift the heart, the collarbones. There you go. And then exhale for 9. And that's a consecutive exhale without interruption. I'd like you to try that for 3 more breath cycles and see what it's like for you. Last one. And then again, sitting in the stillness, which is not vacancy nor dullness, but stillness. There are 5 causes of suffering and 9 obstacles. Of course, there's 100 cousins across the battlefield too. And if the solution is clear perception, then your commitment here is worth it. Let's put the blanket aside and please come up to stand in your horse stance. So giving your attention to that stillness and recognizing that it's there, like beneath the mental mumbo jumbo, that's definitely worth it. So straighten your arms here in horse stance and press out against your knees. And let's see if you can do that 3-part inhale in this position. Remind yourself that you can't take like 80% of your inhale in the first third. You actually are pacing it. So you have this in-breath that comes up to the upper portion of the chest. And please try it. One of the beauties of this practicing in horse stance is you have the opportunity to really pace it first, third, middle, and upper. And in the upper third, you might feel the space between the shoulder blades and the collarbones also receiving a part of the inhale. Let's do it for one more breath cycle, please. Walk your heels and toes out to the jazz dance formal pose. And turn your left fingers in. Please twist to your right. When you're twisting to the right here, keep both arms straight. So you're actively pressing the inner thighs out, knees out, in line with your toes. And let the breath, if possible, encompass all three regions of the torso, but not with any interruptions now. So smooth Ujjayi breath for inhale and exhale. Rotate yourself to center. Turn your right hand in, left hand out. Please twist to your left. Keep the arms straight so you're actively supporting the infrastructure of the pose, and the breath can be more expansive. We hope the breath can be more expansive. And rotate around to center, and as you rise up to standing, let's go heel toe into center. And now step forward for Surya Namaskar, please. And this, for Surya Namaskar, let's think of it as, it's familiar to you, it's like a prayer, and it's also now where your pranayama practice gets reflected. Like what you just generated now makes this practice more efficient, more effective, reflecting the inner stillness. So no sense of striving. A couple of the other obstacles in the 9 obstacles, we have laziness, dullness, apathy, regression, misperception. We also have hastiness, vacillation, and overindulgence. So that sounds like more than 9 because I'm translating. One obstacle might say dullness, apathy, laziness, resignation. There's a lot of translations for one Sanskrit word. So if any of that applies to you, then you're in the right place to practice this morning. We don't want to succumb to those things. So bring with you what occurred in pranayama, and let's use Ujjayi inhale, please, to rise up. Exhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Left toes back, keep your right heel grounded. Inhale to rise and try to sense first third of the breath, middle third, upper third of the breath. Exhale, descend, going slowly, consistently. Touch the blocks lightly and then firmly. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Inhale, plank. Step over one foot, point the toes behind you. Shift down to your knees, seal pose. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, plank pose. So the toes curl back under. Gaze down between your thumbs. Inhale, downward facing dog pose. You exhale, left foot forward. Keep your right toes grounded. And then inhale, first third, middle third, upper third. Exhale, descend slowly. No, that's my water. Inhale, step forward, Ardha Uttanasana. That is no longer my water glass. Now it's yours. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale to the heart and continuing straight on. Now inhale, upward hands. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Rise up. Uttanasana. Glide forward. Right toes back. Rising up. Descending, first lightly and then firmly touch the blocks. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, plank. Point the toes of the other foot first. Lower down to your shins and knees. Seal pose. Inhale to go up. Exhale, plank pose. Gaze down between your thumbs. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, right foot forward. Inhale to rise. Exhale, descend. Inhale, step forward, please. Uttanasana. Rising up. To the heart. One more. Urdhva Hastasana. Chair pose. Om Bhuva. Rise up. Uttanasana. Suvha. Heart forward. Left foot back. Tatsaveto. Rising. Descending. Varenyam. Plank. Dog. Bhagodeva. Plank. Seal pose. Yadimahi. Going up. Plank. Tatsaveto. Downward dog. Right foot forward. Varenyam. Rising. Descending. Dhyayana. Step forward. Uttanasana. Prachodaya. Heart forward. Right toes back. Om Bhuva. Descending. Plank. Downward dog. Plank. Seal pose. Varenyam. Inhale up. Plank pose. Bhargo Devas. Downward dog. Left foot forward. Yadimai. Rising. Descending. Tiyoyona. Step forward, heart forward. Uttanasana. Prachodaya. Rising. To the heart. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And then standing really still. Listen for the stillness beneath the obstacles. That which is neither the past nor the future, apprehension nor anticipation. Neither self nor other, neither craving nor aversion. Please release your hands and let's come down with your two blocks. We're going to be actually sitting on them. So if you take the two blocks and you make them like a little triangle, likely there's a space between the blocks. And I'd like you to sit so that you have the blocks are just outside of your embodied Konasana. And the blocks are just outside of your sitting bones. You can put the heels together and please hold the big toes. And let's pull up with the heart. Press out and down with your knees. And we can angle to come a little bit forward. So where the blocks are right now is going to become more relevant as we go to the next couple stages. But when you come forward in this position, the blocks are going to be so that you can feel the bony landmark of the outer thigh bone. But you won't feel your sitting bones on the blocks, nor the tailbone, nor the pubic bones. When you're holding your toes and coming forward, if it's comfortable and you're not being too coercive about it, you can place your elbows against your shins and kind of press the knees out a little bit. And please rise up to sitting. So just getting comfortable what it means to be sitting on the two blocks. Now bring the knees and shins together. So now when you roll back, yes, the blocks are pointy. And yes, there are muscles there that might be tender. So the place between, like if you roll up to sit up high, you've still got bony support on the block, and you are likely, you can feel the edge of the block against the trochanter and pointing in towards the sitting bones. When you roll back, you're more on the muscles between the greater trochanter and the sitting bones. We're not yet at the sacrum. The tailbone and such is just free from the two blocks. So this is like a massage. And you might have one side that's more tender than the other. And when you're coming through in these ways, consider if it's really difficult, even if this is a very strong sensation, then you could wear your bicycle shorts to class. Just kidding. That doesn't really support that area. But you could fold your yoga mat over the blocks to give some padding to the blocks. You could also put 1-layer blanket, 2-layer blankets, 3-layer blanket. So you have some pressure, but shouldn't feel excruciating. Okay. Take your hands behind you. Yes, it might be tender for some of you. Okay, now I'd like you to take your left foot and put it into Siddhasana. So now you're sitting pretty squarely on the left block. Take the right block up to the medium setting and place that under the right outer thigh bone. And raise your right arm up and come forward. So at the moment, the right block is not going to seem that influential. Walk your right hand forward so that your right arm and shoulder are inside of your right knee, and try to keep some contact so you're even lightly touching the block and you know you haven't just picked up your right hip to come forward. So as you're walking the right arm forward and the torso is trying to come to the inside of your right thigh, if you need to, of course, it's okay to walk your right foot out a little bit to the side and to walk your shin and thigh out there with it. Now let's inhale, rise up to sitting, raise your right arm and twist to your right. So what I'm going to ask you to do is cross your left hand to the outside of your right shin. Put your weight onto this block. So this is here for you. Put the greater trochanter right there on the edge of the block and twist to your right. By having the greater trochanter supported there right now, and on the left side you also have support, but try to sense now, if you press down with your right outer thigh bone against the block, to what extent do you tone the pelvic floor so your spine goes upright and the rotation might have more length to it? And then rotate around to face forward and walk your right foot and your right leg out and tip it out. Okay? So once you tip your knee out, you're going to pick up and cross your right foot over. Watch out for your left foot and the block. So cross your right foot over into fire log pose like this. Arrange your block so it makes sense for your hip, of course. You don't want your heel to be digging into your thigh, but I do want your right hip to be supported right there. Press your right knee down. Press the right thigh bone kind of down against the block again. So you're descending there. See if that tones the pelvic floor and lets you go more upright through your spine. And then walk your left hand over to your right knee. My right hand won't reach the floor from here, so I've got it on the block where my right hip is. You can make your own decisions in that regard. Press the outer right hip down against the block again. So I don't want you to have a sense that that is floating, you're not levitating. So when you press it down, see if it balances the pelvic floor to center and might let your spine become more upright in the twisting. And rotate around to face forward. Reach for your yoga strap. Okay, we're going to take the loop of the strap and, oops, mine got tangled. Okay, make the loop big enough that you can experiment with this. So what's going to happen is you put the loop around the strength of your right foot. You weave it around behind you. And you're going to be placing your right hand and your right wrist in that loop. And then you can make it firm. Okay, so I've got my right wrist in the loop behind me. And that means that my right arm can now support me to twist. The left arm is like, it's going to add to, but it's not the driving force now. So right hand in the strap and then left hand. And see again, if you can press your right thigh down against the block so the spine might go more upright. With your right wrist supported by the strap, we want the strap to be sort of taut enough that you're able to really roll your right shoulder back and further send your spine upwards. For any who would like to, you can then start adding a little back bend in the upper back, chest, heart, collarbones. Please keep the right hip pressing down against your block. Use the strength of your right wrist inside the strap to support your right shoulder. And then as you start to release, what you're going to do is unwind just sort of intuitively as that goes for you. Place this block flat and take a seat. And then come gently forward. Now we're going to take the other side of the sequence. So if you'll take this loop off, you're going to put the right foot goes under into Siddhasana. So that means that the toes are pointed, knees out to the side. Take the block for your left hip and put it up to the medium setting and actually sit on it. And so at first when you sit on it, you might actually feel your weight there when we come forward to the first position. Try to keep some contact there. So raise the left arm up. Come forward. The left arm can be inside of your left knee. Try to reach your left sitting bone back down to that block. So even if it's light contact, you haven't left it. And inhale, rising up. So you're going to feel the left outer trochanter again is against that block. Please twist to your left. Try to press down with your left outer hip there on the block. See if it might tone the pelvic floor and send your spine more upwards. And then rotate around to face forward and walk your left foot and left knee out a little ways. And you're going to pick up. So the ankle stays strong like in mountain pose. And when you cross over, you have to accommodate where your right foot needs to be there. This is a version of fire log pose. And I am encouraging you to have your hips supported there on the block. So you can both press down and also kind of receive a massage from your block. Cross your right hand over to your left knee and please twist to your left. And rotate around to face forward. Let's take the strap. It goes around your foot so it's secure there, and then the strap is behind you. So you're going to take your left wrist inside the strap, and that will give a stabilizing to your left arm and shoulder. Please twist to your left. Press the left outer hip down against the block. See if you can tone the left hemisphere of the pelvic floor so your spine goes upright in this twist. And welcome the breath to inform you about this. You get to make a choice here for anybody who would like to add a little feeling of a back bend. And slowly release, and we'll place the block that's under the left hip down to the flat setting for those whose hips can now do that. And let this leg, respect it. What does it need? But also it can relax down a little bit. And we're going to come slightly forward. Thank you for concentrating there. Let's transition to a supported version of Shavasana. So you're going to need your strap and a block. And the Shavasana that I've been featuring lately also includes a blanket and another block. So let's take this blanket, please, and put it in the long, narrow fold. So like this, and then in half twice. And that goes down your mat. You have a block at the ready for your head. Sit in front of, but not on your blanket. You're going to stretch the legs out, and the block goes between your feet. And then the strap goes around. You don't have to tie this too tightly. You're going to want to be able to get your feet out of it at the end of Shavasana. But it's a light and helpful reminder that the toes aren't going to turn out during Shavasana. So your legs will stay more neutral in their rotation. Okay? And when you lie back, then you take the block and it goes under your blanket on the flat setting. Tuck the shoulder blades under. And come down to rest. At the end of this Shavasana, we're going to stay in the Shavasana and we'll try that 3-part breath again, just to see what is possible for you there. So now I'm going to ask you to allow the stillness. Please don't daydream or go to your vacancy your vacancy mode, and don't drop back into dullness. If at all possible, watch the stillness beneath the sensations, the thoughts, the moods, the comings and goings. To go inside, smoothing out your forehead and the place right between your eyebrows. Go inside where your internal sight, your inner vision is, and the stillness is more palpable. And deeply relax your eyes, your eyebrows, the skin over your forehead. We go to the place where inner vision, inner sight, the inner clarity of perception. Travel down behind your cheekbones and down from the upper palate. Travel down through the back of the throat and down towards your heart, please. Invite the quality of stillness of heart, a heart free from anticipations and apprehensions. And travel down from your heart into the solar plexus, into your abdomen, the pelvis, and travel down through your hips and your legs, and down to the heels and beyond. your mind to rest and be very still down below the heels, the place beyond thought. And bringing some awareness that stillness has been there all along. You are returning to it. And I'd like you to sense the breath in its resting state, but in preparation for some curiosity about this first third, middle third, upper third of the breath. Let's place the hands on the pelvis, on the lower pelvis. You'll have one hand that then goes up to the mid-torso and one hand that goes up to the heart. And this is just a reminder for you about where you are in the breath process. Without any sense of straining, you inhale for 3 into the pelvis and the lower belly. Then you'll pause for a count of 3. Move one hand to the mid-torso. Inhale for 3 counts there. And you'll pause for 3 counts. Move the other hand up to the heart. And the final third of the breath for 3 counts. And you pause for 3. Place both hands on the low belly and begin your exhale from the pelvic floor for a count of 9. Try that one more time at your own counting. And releasing your feet from the strap. Please simply bend each knee. Place your feet flat on the floor. And roll to your right side. And when you roll down to your right, rest there and then use both hands to come up to sitting. And once you come up, take a seat where you can try one more round of these 3-part breaths. And then that's going to take us to a few minutes of shared silence together. So while sitting upright, and get acclimated, you may choose to place your hands low belly, mid, and heart, or to do it from memory. When you complete just one round to explore that, then let yourself sit in the stillness, the silence. The causes of suffering and the obstacles fade. And clear perception returns. Let's bring your hands together at your heart. Our practice is really the practice of remembering. It's more the experience of subtracting that which causes the forgetting and then leads to the obstacles. The practice is really about remembering. Make a little body memory, a smriti of your access to stillness right now. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. No, not that, please. I'm going to come up and see you guys closer. The water glass is no longer mine, but I also don't want them to tip it over, startle themselves. Well, it's so nice to see the light in your spaces. Everything looks so bright, including you. How are you feeling?